what you're trying to do is you're trying to make a good impression. Especially at the beginning, you're trying to make a good first impression. You can't do that while being poorly dressed. You can't do that while looking like a slob, because immediately a woman will think, this guy doesn't have money, this guy doesn't care about his appearance, his apartment is probably gross, his car is probably gross, or she'll assume she don't even have a car, and so on. Appearance is very important because not only women, but society in general judges you on your appearance. So, if you want to portray yourself as a professional, you should be dressed as a professional. You should work on having the money to be able to afford the things that make you look as though you're a man of value. Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time watching, remember to like, comment and subscribe, hitting all for notifications. If you're a regular, thank you so much for your continued support. Remember to watch until the end, you're not going to want to miss this episode. Today, women want men who don't do these things. Men are always wondering how they got rejected. In this article, I'm going to talk about the exact reasons why you got rejected. Now, a lot of men, the reason they don't understand why they're getting rejected is because they're listening to their teachers, they're listening to their sister, they're listening to their mother, and they're just doing it wrong because your sister, your mother, your female teachers, and beta males, men who have no idea how the world really works, they don't know how to advise you on how to do it properly because they don't have the experience to know. You ask the fisherman and not the fish. Also, keep in mind that a lot of these things that women desire and why women are rejecting you is because you're not being a man that a woman wants. Women say they want certain behaviors, but what they actually want are different things, and that's why a channel like mine exists. Let's get into it. Number 1. Be attractive, don't be unattractive. This is so-called 1 and 2, rules 1 and 2 of the manosphere. Rule 1 is to be attractive. But if you're still unattractive due to certain behaviors, you can be as handsome as you like and still have no chance with women. So, be attractive and don't be unattractive. So here is how you be attractive, okay? You need to have many requirements filled out, and if you don't have these, then you're going to get rejected. So, let me list some of the things that you need in order to be attractive. You need to be tall. For some men, this is out of their control, but that's okay. You need to be muscular. You need to be well groomed. Your hair needs to be on point. You need to smell good. You need to be dressed well. So that means your shoes need to be clean, your clothes need to be clean, and you need to be stylish. Your clothes need to match. So what I mean is, you can look it up online. There's some basic tips. If you're wearing dark pants, you wear dark socks. If you're wearing light pants, you wear light socks. If you're wearing blue, then brown goes with it, so you wear brown shoes, brown belt. If you're wearing black pants, then you can wear black shoes, black belt. And there's certain colors that don't go together. That sort of thing. But being attractive also has to do with your confidence and your social abilities. So you need to be able to speak to people, which requires practice. Nobody is good without practice. So you need to be good at talking to people, and the way to be good at talking to people is by practicing. So if you don't know how to do it, go talk to some safe people, you know, the guy in the elevator, the person that makes your food when you go and buy food. At the clothing stores where you're buying clothes, talk to those people, talk to the people that you buy ice cream from, that you buy coffee from, etc. And then later on you can move on to beautiful women that work at certain stores, and then after that you can move on to regular women, and you go up in practice like that. that it will improve your confidence, which will then improve your results. And don't be unattractive. What that means is there are certain behaviors that imply to women that you are a loser, that you're in the bottom 80% of men. So these unattractive behaviors are things such as desperation. So for example, if you're texting her all the time, supplication. So if you're constantly trying to please her, women find that unattractive. Desperation. So the idea is if she feels that she's your only option, then she'll find you unattractive. And loneliness, if you imply that you don't have anyone else to be with, you don't have anything else to do. Boringness, if you have nothing going on in your life other than her, she'll find you unattractive. And certain body language tics, like moving around too much, squirming, not being able to look her in the eye, that sort of thing. It just implies you're not socially calibrated, which women also find as unattractive. So those are, in general, these are the things. Okay, I'm going to go into more detail about certain things that basically, if a woman sees this thing in you, she's going to reject you. Okay, so let me go into, this is number 2, which is bad grooming. So, if your beard is unshaven, your hair is greasy, and you wear crinkled, messed up, dirty clothes and shoes, you're going to have a very bad time seducing women, even if you are attractive. This is a very easy thing to fix, luckily. Buy clothes that fit you, make sure they're clean, and wear your hair in a style that suits you, making sure your hair is washed and your beard is trimmed. For some men, that's all they need to get women in their beds. So again, when you're seducing women, what you're trying to do is you're trying to make a good impression. Especially at the beginning, you're trying to make a good first impression. You can't do that while being poorly dressed. You can't do that while looking like a slob, because immediately a woman will think, this guy doesn't have money, this guy doesn't care about his appearance, his apartment is probably gross, his car is probably gross, or she'll assume she don't even have a car, and so on. Appearance is very important because not only women, but society in general judges you on your appearance. So, if you want to portray yourself as a professional, you should be dressed as a professional. You should work on having the money to be able to afford the things that make you look as though you're a man of value. And if you don't have those, then perhaps rather than seducing women, you should work on acquiring that value. Okay. The next thing, number 3, is awkward social skills. So if you're awkward socially, you're going to have a bad time. Be cool. This means you're looking people in the eye, you're making small talk, and you know some common topics that everyone knows how to talk about. You should know at least a little bit about sports, news, pop culture, celebrities, and music for this reason. So what I recommend is just listen to a radio station. Listen to a radio station that plays pop music, and you'll pick up the common cultural things that people want to talk about, and this will make it very easy for you to have small talk with women in the future that you're trying to seduce. It also helps to socially lubricate whatever environment you're in. So if you go to a work party, you have something to talk about. If you go out to a bar, or you go to some kind of meetup, or you're meeting some friends, when you go out, you have some common topics to talk about so that you're not awkward. Because again, it's be attractive and don't be unattractive. So this is your way of not being unattractive. Okay. The average person talks at least about one of those common topics that I mentioned. So if you know this stuff, you're going to get along much better with people, and you're going to get laid much more. But not only this, being able to speak about these topics allows the average common person, it allows you to talk to them. And when you're able to talk to the average common person, you're able to get much more social capital. And when you get social capital, it means that people look up to and respect you. And when people when women look up to and respect you, or when a woman sees that other women or other people look up to and respect you, she'll see you as a winner and you're going to get laid. So, because again, women want superior men, so that's how you show it. Just because your true interests lie elsewhere doesn't mean that you should not know common talking points with people. And knowing these will help you to get laid a lot more, as I said. Okay, number 4. A very, very common reason that men get rejected is they don't work out, they don't exercise. If you don't do any exercise, you're going to have a very bad time. No woman wants to sleep with a fat man or a skinny fat man or basically a guy that looks like a tub of lard. You as a man need to have some kind of sport you do regularly. The easiest thing you can do if you don't do anything is lift weights and go to the gym. So look up strong lifts 5x5 if you're a beginner. Now, of course, I'm sure you've heard this from me, I very often recommend that you do a martial art, but of course, martial arts takes many years to get good at, and it's going to be very, very taxing on your body. So if you're, let's say, 35 plus listening to this, maybe you don't want to get into martial arts. It's a little bit difficult to start at that age, but you could. I mean, I've seen classes of people doing martial arts and they're older and it works. Certainly, if you start in your 20s, you could continue on to your 30s, 40s, 50s, no problem, because your body is already used to it. The confidence that lifting weights and doing martial arts will give you is huge. And not only this, you won't fear having to be a protector, because as a man, one of your biological roles is being a protector. So if you're not able to be a protector, you're going to be rejected. Keep in mind that in the modern dating market, women are looking for men who are physically fit. Just watch any reality TV show about couples or about women that are trying to get laid and look at the men in those shows. These are, Instagram influencers, bodybuilders, or just men that work out a lot. Of course, these guys on the shows, they're taking steroids and stuff like that. You don't have to go so far. But you need to be physically fit and on your game, because a man's historical role is protector and provider, and if you can't protect, then you will not trigger the baseline biological instinct of your girl. And it's very important to do so, because you will not trigger her top 20% hypergamous filter if you don't do that. Now, many men prefer other sports than martial arts or lifting weights, and if you want to improve your social skills and exercise, you can certainly do that. You can do some kind of team sport, and that's no problem. If you'd like to combine social skills, team sports, and martial arts, there is a sport for you. Actually, 2 sports. You could do rugby, or you could do American football. They're both great, although personally I would recommend rugby. Rugby is more of a fighting sport than football is, in my opinion. And it will train you very well to be a protector, because you will be able to fight after playing rugby, that's for sure. Remember, a fit man is an attractive man. And if you've read any romance novels at all, or seen what women want in men, you know that they want an attractive man. Not just mentally, but physically as well. You as a man need to be the full package. It used to not be the case. You could just be good at one thing and be okay. But nowadays that is not the case at all. You as a man need to be the complete package, or else you can't demand the kind of behavior that you'd like out of a woman. So keep that in mind. Okay, the next one is lazy. I think this is number 5. So if you're not hardworking, women will disdain you. Women want men who are protectors and providers. So if you're just a protector, just an attractive man, you will certainly get laid like a warlord. But no woman will consider you for a long-term relationship. Now, some men, they consider that to be a bonus. They consider that to be an advantage. They're not looking for a long-term relationship. And so if you are looking for just a short-term relationship, where you just have sex with a girl and then she leaves, then all you have to do is not tell her about your provider abilities. You can just show your body, so work out regularly, and then have a good body fat percentage. Like, if you're between like 10 to 14% body fat, and you're physically fit, like you lift weights at the gym or you do some kind of martial art, you should be extremely attractive to a girl and able to secure a friends with benefits, no problem. But if you're looking to get married and have children, which is the only reason I would ever recommend marriage, you should never get married or cohabitate if you're not planning on having children, and if you're not planning on having children right away. If you're not planning on getting married and having children, and you're just planning on trying to get friends with benefits or trying to get a non-monogamous girlfriend, an NMG, then you don't have to worry about the provider part. But if you do want such a relationship, then being a provider is extremely important. And so, you must have a full-time career which earns you good money. So, I don't mean a job like working at McDonald's. I mean, and when I say good money, I mean, let's say you're under the age of 35, then 70,000 US per year would be considered a good salary. Ideally, your career earns you about 100,000 US dollars eventually per year. Again, not all men are capable of going to professional school, and if you're not, it's okay. You can earn that sort of money being in the skilled trades. So, being a plumber, electrician, being a contractor. The only problem is that women tend to disdain men that work in these jobs. They tend to look down on them, even though these men earn good money. So, keep that in mind. Also, of course, if you're trying to earn $100,000 US per year, and you really have no recourse, then any man is capable of starting one or multiple businesses and supplementing their income that way. Keep in mind that you should be working a minimum of 60 hours per week. So being time efficient as a man is extremely important. And this is again why I say that you should only text for logistics and that you should have a full, enjoyable life. Because if you don't, you're going to suffer in the long term and you're not going to be able to have children, basically. Or you're going to be able to have children, but the girl will break up with you because she considers herself superior to you because of her hypergamy. So, keep that in mind. Nobody said that being a superior man was easy. Alright, here's the conclusion. It's clear that women want men who know how to 1. Groom themselves and do their hair, 2. Talk to people, 3. Exercise regularly, and 4. Work hard. If you're missing any of these, now you know how to fix it. Keep in mind that being attractive and not being unattractive are the key to getting all of the success that you want out of women in your life in general. Good luck and thank you. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please remember to do all of the following. Like the video for the algorithm. Comment on the video. I respond to all comments and I'll give you a heart. Subscribe and hit the bell so you can see my content on your feed. Check out all of my content on other platforms. It spreads the reach of the channel. YouTube, bit.ly/Helios YouTube. Rumble, bit.ly/Helios Rumble. My blog is realheliosblog.com. My podcast, bit.ly/Helios Podcast. My Patreon, patreon.com/theheliosblog. You can also support the show at bit.ly/Helios donations and buy my books at bit.ly/Helios books. Thank you so much for all of your support.